Hello and welcome to how to apply a wax on another test panel video. And before you click off, there's a good reason for it. What I'm going to do is apply this GB Detailing Hydro Wax, and then I'm going to leave it outside in the elements on the panel for 2 or 3 months. After that, I'm going to show you how you can use these detailing sprays to help maintain and possibly extend the life of the wax. So let's get into it. So hopefully you should all know how to apply a wax. If you don't, just take a nice foam applicator, couple of swipes into the pot, and apply via either circular motions or a cross-hatch motion, whichever you prefer. This particular wax is a fully synthetic wax from GB Detailing. This is the 50ml pot and it's around about £15, and you can upgrade to the 100ml pot for £25. Now when you're applying a wax, you have to factor in that it has to cure. So GB Detailing say that this wax can cure in as little as 12 minutes. Obviously, in the summertime, those times will be less. In the wintertime, you could leave it a bit longer before you buff it off. But as long as it dries to a haze and you do the swipe test, that is putting your finger on the wax and drawing a line. If the line is clear, it's ready to buff. If the line is still a bit hazy and waxy, leave it a bit longer. And when it comes to removing the wax residue, I like to use 2 types of cloths. One on the right there, a high pile, one on the left, a low pile cloth. You can see the difference in the GSM there, the yarn, the difference. This one's a low pile cloth, this one here is fluffier. So this one is ideal for the final buff, but this yellow one here is a Kirkland cloth, and that's ideal for just removing the wax residue off. So you can either again remove in circular motions or up and down, really makes no difference whatsoever. Now to save a bit of time in the video, I have applied another coat the following day, and this is the day after. So this is 2 coats of the wax, 24 hours apart, and it is extremely glossy, very reflective and very, very slick to the touch. So I'll now go and leave the panel to the elements, and we'll come back to it in about a month's time and see what the beading's like. I just had to show this first though. This is Heather from AutoCare's YouTube channel's video on the wax. This is the water behaviour on this black Audi. Very, very, very impressive. Excellent beading and sheeting, and she has had approximately 4 to 5 months durability. Quite impressive so far. Very tall, very evenly formed beads. Very decent for a month. Now that is without any washing, that's just left alone. It is a dirty panel, and that's what the beading is like. Very, very impressive. A few days later, and this happens. Yes, another beast from the east appeared and dropped a ton of snow on Glasgow. Now this is just like the first day of it. It went on for days and days and days on end. Snow, snow, snow. Temperatures down to up to -10. You can see there how the beading is still working away. The wax is still performing, but with this layer of snow on the top, by the time it actually sits on the top and then gradually melts away, you're then going to have that sort of glacier type effect where it'll slide off the car, as you can see here, and as it slides off, because it's ice underneath, it's going to really drag into the paintwork and possibly even give it that sort of clay bar effect. So a massive test for any wax. This is why most last stage of protection doesn't last very long in the winter time. So we're now into March with the test, and the panel's still not having had a clean. It's had a snow clean, but as you can see, very heavily marked with water spots, a lot of grime and sand and dirt, general crap on the car. So we'll give it a wash and see what happens. Before we go through the wash process, I always like to use the hose just to get as much loose dirt and grime off the panel as much as you possibly can. And that way then, because we're not using any snow foam, we are just going straight in with the wash and get as much sand, dirt, grime, whatever off the car as much as possible to reduce any scratches and swirls. Now, being truthful, how many of you are sitting there just now looking at that panel as it is and thinking the wax has died, it's gone, it's completely off the panel, time to do it all over again? Well, let's just see what happens after we wash it. Now, the shampoo of choice today is Purity by GB Detailing, keeping it all in the same family. If you want to see a review on Purity, I'll pop a card to a link above. You can click that and you can see the rest of the GB Detailing range. Now, I may have left the wax just a little bit too long before doing this test. I wanted to show slightly better hydrophobics on it, but it is what it is. So we'll continue with the test and just see what these quick detailers can do to help. So as we rinse off the panel here, just removing all the soapy suds residue, and now you can see there is quite a bit of sheeting still coming back. It may have lost its initial hydrophobic fantastic beads, but it's not to say that the wax is completely dead. Now, this is ideal because it gives us the chance to do something about it from this point. It's still sheeting, so there's still protection, so let's just top up that protection, and that's where these quick detailer sprays come in. You've got 3 to choose from. The one on the left is just a standard quick detailer, and that's ideal for if you have any fingerprints, some light marks. It can be used as a drying aid as well. So a quick detailing product is very useful indeed. The one in the middle is the hybrid quick detailer. So that's basically exactly the same as the wax, but in liquid form. And the one on the far right is a quick detailer, which has been infused by silica dioxide, SiO2, to try and give more gloss again and a little bit more longevity with the product. Let's just test these out. We're going to mark up the panel in 3 sections and apply each one in the relevant sections, and we'll put it through a 10 wash test and we'll see how we get on with it. So first up is the quick detailer Flare. The Flare is a simple spray and wipe and no extra buffing required. So that's fairly simple to use. A couple of sprays per panel, buff it in, walk away and leave it. Fantastic. The microfiber cloth we're using there is a 350 GSM cloth from carsanddonuts.com. It's a really good general multi-purpose cloth. It's only £1.75 at the moment. It's a bargain. Next up is Silk, the hybrid quick detailer spray stroke sealant. Can be used as effortlessly as a quick detailer, but you can also lay down a coat before a wax for that little bit of extra protection. And we're using the Duke from Cars and Donuts here, another edgeless 350 GSM cloth. Really nice to use this for general purpose, either applying waxes and sealants or removing the residue effortlessly. Really nice cloth. And lastly, we have Glow, which is the ceramic infused quick detailer. Slightly higher quality microfiber here, and also in a pearl weave, slightly different in construction. It doesn't have sticky out fibres, it has more of a loop type fibre, and those are fantastic for using on ceramic coatings, polish, waxes and sealant removals as well. It's a fantastic general purpose cloth, and it's the same price, £1.75 at the moment. So the first part of this test will be a slickness test, just to see how slick they are. It's not important to everyone, but let's give it a go. And Silk appears to be the slickest out, with closely followed by Glow, and Flare, the quick detailer, possibly as you'd expect. It is just a quick clean detailer, without adding really too much slickness to it. We're going to switch around the pads just to give them a little bit of a fairness in case one of them was stickier than the other. No, Silk wins it again, closely followed by Glow. Now, is that quick detailer stuck to the panel? Nope, there it goes. Best of three? Go on then. Bits on. Oh, Glow was just getting a little bit quicker there. Well, there you go. So the slickest of the three quick detailers are Silk, Glow, and then Flare. Swiftly moving on then, we'll apply it as described. Use a foam applicator pad, maybe just one spray for something this size. I've used a couple of sprays and it looks as though I've over applied it. So in a hatched, crisscross, whatever way you want to apply it, they recommend this method, so that's what we're going to do. Let's just see if that's made any difference to the slickness. So after a few minutes to cure, buff it off with the Challenger cloth again. Obviously, if you recall back, that's what we used for the Glow originally. And as you can see there, it buffs off just super easy, effortlessly. And that's what I like about these cloths. They just make working with ceramics, or I know it's not really a true ceramic, but it's a ceramic detail spray, so come on. But the cloth has left it without any streaks, no residues, and just looks extremely glossy. Let's just test now for slickness. No, yeah, numbnuts, that's not going to test for slickness. Let's do the same test again that we did before. Any wagers this time? What's it going to be? And it's still Silk. Silk still takes the lead. Now there you go. That just proves then that applying it via the directed way with a foam applicator pad has no effect on the slickness whatsoever. Right, glad we've cleared that up. Let's move on. So the next test is the Hydrophobic Test. Who doesn't like a bit of beading and sheeting? So this is like a rain shower test, just with a little pump sprayer, just gently misting on some water till it beads. Beads get bigger and bigger. They're quite sort of uniform but flatter from a quick detailer. And just as they become too big, they then start to run off. It's like standard protection for any good quick detailer on the market. We're going to test now to see how well it sheets. So we're going to put a horizontal flow of water onto the panel. Doesn't bead when you're trying to do that, and the quick flow into like a singular water stream just allows the water to come off there. Now that's ideal because that simulates that when you start to drive the car and you get above 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, all your water will then fly off the car. We just used a pet dryer there. It's my new toy that I got for my birthday, and as you can see there is no water being grabbed on by the panel. So yes, the quick detailer really does help with good sheeting. Personally, I find these beads on Silk quick detailer to be just that little bit nicer than the Flare. Now just compare the two of them. You can see in this shot here, you can see on the left you have the Flare, on the right we have Silk, and hopefully you can make out the difference. Then using the warm air dryer rather than a towel with the Silk, it is completely effortless. Now even with the beads as big as that, there was no trouble for them getting off the panel and leaving a fairly dry panel behind. And very quickly, a quick sheeting test here. And oh wow, the water behaviour there is incredibly different to flare. The sheeting capabilities of that are phenomenal. Now, I'm not using a horizontal water stream there, it's more of a, from above, and it's leaving beading behind. But you take that water and put it on and there we have the dryer again. Fantastic. It doesn't really show very much on this screen here, but the beads from Glow are just that little bit rounder and taller, again with it being ceramic, but they're quicker to run off the panel. So in effect, the protection it leaves behind for water's point of view is going to be slightly better for your car, possibly even aiding to the keeping it clean for longer. I haven't tested that in particular in my car as yet. I can update you on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see these updates. But if you look there, it's having a much greater hydrophobic effect than what either of the two have had. So as you progress up from the flare, the basic quick detailer for cleaning off little smudgy bits, move on to the hybrid quick detailer, and then moving on again even further to the ceramic one. And using the dryer, oh my god, that is phenomenal. So the water behaviour, I hope you can see it on that, and do you agree? The water behaviour from the ceramic quick detailer is excellent. It took no effort. And going back to the flare where it just left that, was it the flare or was it silk? Silk, I think it was, wasn't it? That just left those tiny little beads behind. Didn't do that with this ceramic one, so there is a difference, albeit very minor. But if you look for these little details, you can tell the difference in the products. And finally, a quick sheeting demonstration of Glow, the ceramic detailer. Now that's different again, isn't it? It floods and then goes into a single stream, gone. Yeah, that's really quick. Yep, I absolutely love that one. So now we're going to give each of these quick detailers a 10 wash test using the same shampoo we did before, which is Purity. The Purity being in its name, you can guess it's a pure shampoo, doesn't have any silicones in it, or wax, or gloss enhancers. We're just finishing off the rinsing of the 5th wash here, so halfway through, getting the blower on again just to see if there's any hydrophilic behaviour starting to come through, and there hasn't. So all 3 quick detailers there have withstood the first 5 washes, which is pretty good. Now after the 5th wash, before we finish up, the quick detailer is slightly tailing off, but the hydrophobic behaviour, the sheeting effect, is still working very well on the other 2. Now this test isn't a scientific test by any means, it just gives a rough guide as to what you could possibly expect. There obviously are more factors to a product failing other than just washing, but it gives us a little insight into the product, and it's fun to watch these things. Now, got to remember that as you wash your car, obviously you've got the choice of using some sort of protective product that you can use after washing as a drying aid. So you could either use the quick detailer or the hybrid one, whichever you prefer. I wouldn't recommend using the SiO2 as a drying aid. But we'll just take a quick look here now at the beading after 10 washes, just to get a rough idea as to how sort of resistant they've been. So to compare the quick detailer with the hybrid, you can see there's a difference, but the quick detailer has really held on quite well for 10 washes, I feel. But both are still beading, not great, but it's still there. Obviously you could then top up that on your next wash. You could use either the quick detailer or the hybrid again, and that impressive beading we had from the start would come back instantly. So now you can see the 3 sections and how they have fared. We're going to give them a dry now, and you can see here that using warm air, you can just see the water just holding on to that panel there. So again, less hydrophobic, more hydrophilic. That means that water is grabbed on by the clear coat, but you could always just top that up, as I said, and your protection has no limits then. So if any of these products have been of any interest to you today, then I'll leave a link below as to where to pick them up, and Gavin has also given us a 10% off discount code to use as well. So the code is on screen now. And if anyone is interested in motor racing, GB Detailing will be pairing up with Steve Davies Racing in the Ginetta Cup for this 2021 season. And to celebrate this partnership, the GB Detailing have released 2 limited edition products together, a 100ml of fully synthetic wax and a 500ml detail spray. Now these profits from this, the money will go to the Stroke Association. So that is the wax and one of the detailing sprays, the hybrid one that we have showcased on this video here, and there aren't too many of these kits left. So if you want to get your hands on one of these kits, GB Detailing have laid aside a few kits for us here on the channel. So I'll pop the link below so that you can go and get your exclusive limited edition wax and detailer kit and help the Stroke Association at the same time. Now please don't try and use the discount code for that, because all the profits will go to this charity, and I think you'll agree the Stroke Association is a very worthwhile charity indeed. So thank you very much for watching today's video. If you made it this far, thanks very much, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing so that you can be notified of all the future videos that are uploaded. Today's video has not been sponsored by GB Detailing. The products that you see in use today were provided free of charge, but the review is of my own opinion of using these products. So I hope that qualifies as being fair and impartial. I'm sure I'll see all of you in the next video. Till then, cheery bye now.